Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with breaking news where numerous law enforcement have gathered outside of a home. Now, among the officers are investigators with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. The home that I'm speaking about is in Baker, Minnesota. That's about 17 miles southeast of Fargo. We're not sure how long authorities have been on the scene. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly is there as well, just having arrived within the last 45 minutes or so. She joins us now. And Katie, I know information can be hard to come by. What can you tell us about the scene?
Mike, I'm currently here off of 118th Street South in Baker, Minnesota. There is the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension here on scene, as well as the Clay County Sheriff's Office and other investigators. If you take a look down this road of 118th Street South, you can see officials surrounding a house at the end of the street. Officials' vehicles lined down the road. Officials were seen taking pictures and collecting other evidence from this house and a dumpster near the house. We are not allowed to get any closer to the scene as they investigate. We received a tip about this scene around 4:30 this afternoon. Officials tell us they are not releasing any information at this time as they are doing their initial investigations. They also tell us that once they complete that initial investigation, that they will be providing us with additional information about this incident. But for now, reporting live in Baker, Minnesota, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Katie. And if we get more information, we'll go back to her live. Otherwise, look for updates on our VNL News app. The man who shot and killed another man in Castleton Friday is out of jail tonight. The Cass County State's Attorney's Office saying late today that he was declining to pursue charges against William Dittmer Jr. Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johners said that on the night of the shooting, 50-year-old Dwayne Turchin approached Dittmer at his car, putting his hands on Dittmer's throat. That's when Dittmer fired a gun he was carrying, killing Turchin. State's Attorney Birch Burdick says that they could not, beyond a reasonable doubt, rule out self-defense, which is what Dittmer claimed. And because of that, they will not pursue charges at this point. Authorities say that Dittmer placed a 911 call after the shooting and explained what happened right after that on the night of the shooting. They say he was cooperative during their investigation. Now, the state's attorney did say that if new information comes to light, they could revisit their decision. Hope your plants made it through the evenings last night with that freezing temperature out there, and now that's behind us. We can start thinking about some maybe rain tomorrow and then warmer temps. Hutch, who's working from home, joins us now with the First Alert weather planner for this Tuesday evening. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. We started out our day with near record cold, tying a record in Grand Forks at 18 degrees. Just frigid. Even in Fargo, low 20s, very cold. We do have some high clouds starting to move in, signs of change heading our way. You can see the radar starting to light up a little bit in central North Dakota with some light to moderate showers of rain, mainly along the I-94 corridor, Bismarck, Mandan, and points west towards New Salem, Sioux. For us, it's going to be a quiet evening. Good night to get out and enjoy, finish some lawn chores out there, maybe even throw some fertilizer on the grass as of what's in the forecast will certainly help to green things up. Temperatures slipping tonight into the 40s, but Mike, we'll see no 20s across our area overnight tonight. That's the good news. I'll have the soggy and chilly details, though, in your Wednesday planner here in just a couple of moments. And also, we'll talk about some much, much warmer air in the extended forecast.
Like the sound of that. Thanks, Hutch. 2 men are in jail tonight linked to that frantic scene in North Fargo earlier today that led to the death of one man and serious injuries to another. Here are the two that sit in the Cass County Jail currently, 21-year-old Rain Young and 28-year-old Daryl Simmons. Young has been charged with reckless endangerment, theft, and a felon in possession of a firearm. Simmons is charged with criminal conspiracy. Everything started near the Northport Hornbachers this morning, where a red vehicle crashed at 7th Street North and Broadway. Authorities found one person dead and the other injured. Young and Simmons were arrested nearby, and the 2 guns believed to have been involved in the shooting were recovered. No names have been released on the victims. Those living in that North Fargo neighborhood say they were shaken up by this morning's incident. A few woke to the sounds of a car crash. Police say there is no danger to the public at this time. Some say that does little to ease the concerns of an incident that happens so close to home.
I don't know if it was them hitting the curb or if it was hitting a sign, but it was loud because it woke me up.
Go home, lock yourself up. I don't care, but stay out of our neighborhood.
Police have yet to explain if all four of the people involved knew each other. The search continues tonight for a man who led various agencies on a chase through parts of the FM Metro. Around 10:30 last night, troopers tried to stop a white pickup, but it took off, heading into West Fargo and then in and out of the Metro. Authorities eventually deflated the driver's tires, but he then ditched the vehicle and took off running. Authorities say they know who the driver is and that there is no danger to the public. North Dakota is reporting another 2 deaths linked to the coronavirus. Today's were a woman in her 100s and a woman in her 70s, both from Cass County, both with underlying health conditions. The state's total now is up to 38, 25 of those from the virus, with 9 death records still pending. Overall, another 53 people have tested positive with COVID-19, 44 of those from Cass County. 694 cases are considered active throughout the state. Minnesota is reporting another 23 deaths today, bringing the state's total to 614. 496 residents are in the hospital, 199 of those in ICU. Over 12,000 positive cases have been reported in Minnesota, with over 8,000 listed as no longer needing isolation. Tomorrow morning, the Minnesota National Guard and the Air Force Reserve will conduct a flyover in Moorhead to honor those who continue to work during the coronavirus pandemic. The flyover involves an F-16 Fighting Falcon and a C-130 Hercules. They're set to go over the Sanford Clinic in Moorhead between 11:40 and 11:55 from the west to the east. Now, times are approximate. Weather and other factors could affect the route as well as the schedule. West Fargo students and staff are grieving tonight after language arts teacher 39-year-old Jamie Swanson suddenly died Sunday morning after being admitted to the hospital on Friday. Several students told us today that Swanson was one of their favorite teachers, saying they could go to her for anything. One former student even says Swanson is one of the reasons she wants to become a teacher one day.
She helped a lot. She loved making sure kids were okay. Always made sure that they were having a good day. She loved making class fun, and she loved making personal life fun too.
Virtual counseling appointments are available for those students struggling with Swanson's passing. Would you consider going virtual for your next doctor's visit? The coronavirus pandemic has more people using telemedicine. Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro shows us it's not just for sick patients.
Liliana, say hi to Dr. O'Brien.
This is my daughter Liliana's first time seeing her pediatrician on the computer.
Sometimes the easiest change to make is one you have to make.
Dr. Ellen O'Brien works for Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. In February, providers at Children's saw about 100 patients by telemedicine. In April, that number jumped to more than 8,000.
We're really doing our best to try to limit the exposures for kids so everybody can be as safe as possible.
Dr. O'Brien is screening sick patients and seeing children for their regular checkups online. The American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending this for most children over the age of 2 until it's safe to visit the doctor in person again.
It's been an explosion of use.
Ann Mond Johnson, CEO of the American Telemedicine Association, says the pandemic is making telemedicine more accessible. Some private insurance companies are waiving out-of-pocket fees for telemedicine visits, and many federal and state insurance programs are now paying for the virtual appointments. Mond Johnson is lobbying for these changes to become permanent.
One thing that will be a constant in this conversation going forward is the importance and the need for telehealth and the ability for people to get care where and when they need it.
Including Liliana. As she continues to grow, her doctor can check in on her, no matter what's going on in the world outside. In Washington, Jacqueline Policastro, Valley News Live.
In April, Sanford Health told Valley News Live that they saw over 7,000% increase in virtual physician visits, going from just 23 visits per day to around 1,800 throughout all of their locations. There are frustrations about garbage pickup in the valley. The long-standing cleanup week tradition has been postponed due to COVID-19. That's for Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo. Officials say the pandemic is making garbage crews work harder as people are generating more trash at home.
Probably the biggest hazard is that we have to hire day laborers, which we end up cycling through a considerable number of temporary employees that we don't know.
The city of Fargo says they've fined 20 or so people for trash on the curb. They say the charge fee varies on the amount of the time that crews spend at your home. Moorhead, Fargo, and West Fargo say that you can drop your trash from June 8th through the 13th free of charge. To learn more about locations and times, download our Valley News app. The North Dakota Game and Fish Department is offering a $2,000 reward for information on 5 moose that were poached between April 25th and April 30th. This happened near Dunseith in north central North Dakota. Investigators say 2 bulls and a cow pregnant with triplets were shot. If you have any information, call the Game and Fish Department. The phone number is 701-328-9921. Later on Valley News Live at 6, protests continue in Minnesota regarding graduation policies. We'll have the very latest.
Temperatures slipped down into the low 20s in Fargo first thing this morning. Then the sunshine went to work under cloud-free skies. We were on our way into the 50s. It looks like a soggy day on your wet, windy Wednesday. Hour by hour details on that and a nice warm-up are next.